Actually, the European legislation has a very good instrument to detect high-emitting vehicles in use, the periodic emission tests of vehicles. It should identify failures or manipulation of emission systems and force the owner of the vehicle into repair or maintenance work. Unfortunately, the current periodic emission test is not applicable anymore for modern diesel and petrol vehicles. Well, the current test procedure was developed over 25 years ago and only slightly adapted to the development of modern vehicles. This means, for example, that a Euro 5 diesel vehicle would pass the periodic emission test even if the particulate trap is removed and the smoke emissions increase by 500 times. In addition, important pollutants like NOx cannot be measured at all. The consequences are that manipulation or even normal deterioration of the emission systems cannot be detected during the periodic emission test. This again means that millions of vehicles in Europe are so-called gross polluters with a dramatic negative impact on air quality. The European Commission estimates that only 5% of these vehicles are responsible for over 25% of all the emissions caused by vehicles with combustion engine. If we would be able to detect the gross polluting vehicles with a modern emission test, we could reduce the emissions dramatically. Yes, without any doubt, the European-wide CETA-SET1 study shows that on a short-term perspective, it would be very helpful to introduce a mandatory tailpipe test and OBD reading in combination with more stringent thresholds. This could be implemented with the current test procedures and the equipment. Germany, for example, is going this way starting this year. The kind and the amount of pollutants of new vehicles changed a lot over the last years. I just want to give two examples. The size of particulate matters of diesel vehicles is becoming smaller and smaller, and a high-efficient engine, for example a Euro 6, is producing much more NOx than a Euro 4 engine. Therefore, very effective but also expensive after-treatment systems are necessary to clean the emissions of modern vehicles. On the other hand, petrol direct injecting vehicles are emitting particulate matters like diesel vehicles, which makes a particulate emission test also for petrol vehicles meaningful. First studies show that for a proper evaluation, especially for NOx emissions, a simple loaded test in combination with a comprehensive and standardized OBD reading is very promising. If we want to keep the emission standard of modern vehicles on a high level during the whole life cycle, then we need a modernized periodic emission test. As long as defects or manipulations are not detected, nobody would repair it. Not automatically. Although the measurement equipment would become more costly, the more expensive part of an emission test is the working time of the inspector. If the test could be conducted faster than today, you could compensate additional costs for the equipment. If we really want to improve air quality in urban areas, where still for many years the combustion engine will be the most widespread propulsion, we need to conduct proper and valid emission tests.